Book 101 is all about the books that I read for the last 40 years. And today I have my special guest. He is the founder and CEO of the Five Steps a Day, no other than Dr. Len Lopez. Welcome to Book 101, Dr. Len, and can you please introduce
Yeah,
more
well,
about you?
thank you so much, Daniel. Thank you for the invitation. Thank you for letting me come out here and share my thoughts on 5 steps a day and what hopefully it can help somebody, as it says, go from that vicious cycle into that virtuous circle by tracking how you feed your body, mind, and spirit.
Yes, and Dr. Lan, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. And tell us what inspired you to create 5 steps a day.
Well, it's something I've been in. Well, I was in private practice for about 30 years, and I was always helping people. My background is in sports medicine, nutrition, and more natural medicine. And what I kept on seeing with so many of my patients was just not helping their physical health. Whether being healthy and fit and losing weight and all that stuff. But then it was like, it's not just what you eat that's going to determine how your physical body is, but what are you feeding your mind? What are you feeding your spirit? And it must have been about 20 years ago I created this little thing called 5 steps a day, and but I never really shared it with anybody. It was my way of just tracking excuse me, my way of tracking how well I was doing as far as feeding my body, mind, and spirit. Was I exercising? Okay, great, shade that. And was I practicing my golf? Was I practicing my dancing? Was I practicing my guitar playing? Was I doing things to make me more well-rounded, for lack of a better term? And it just started. I started realizing everything I'm doing stuff that's feeding the body, stuff that's feeding the mind, and then trying to feed the spirit also. That was one thing that I was really missing for a long time. But I finally got the nice little balance out there. And one day I was being interviewed. In fact, how I came out to finally bring 5 steps out was that I was being interviewed for a magazine. Authority magazine had did an article with me on health and fitness, and they came back about almost a year later, and they go, "Hey, Doc, we want to do another article, and we want to go. We really like the health and fitness article we did with you, but we'd like to do one more. How about it like body, mind, and spirit? Is that something that's within your wheelhouse or not?" And so I thought about it, and the next morning I sent them a text or an email, just kind of saying, "Here's something I've been doing for the last 20 years." How I track how I'm feeding my body, mind, and spirit. And I showed them what 5 steps was, and it was a little more crude than what you're seeing. But they just came back and they made me feel really great because they go, "This is really different. It's really unique, but it's really cool because it's not like journaling where sometimes you spend 30 minutes writing stuff down." And which is great therapy because I used to do lots of journaling, but I wasn't very good at going back and seeing what was happening and everything. And so the editors of Authority magazine said this is really great, so they kind of gave me the impetus to put this together and bring it out. From it first started as a calendar because I'm an older guy, and so I'm still paper and pencil kind of person. But everybody I showed it to, a lot of my friends, contemporaries, they go, "Len, this is a really cool idea. I've never seen anything like this. This is great." They would always say two things I kept on hearing was, "You have to make this an app," and "I got to get my kids to read this." Because each one, the word steps, guys, is just an acronym for sleep, think, eat, physical, and spirit. And if you go to the website or go on to the app and everything, you'll just see that it's just about did you work your physical body? If you did, shade in the P. Did you eat right for the day? If you did, shade in the E. Did you think better today? Not that you thought perfect. You don't got to tell yourself a bazillion times that you feel great, but did you start thinking a little bit better? And if you did, shade in the T. Did you sleep with a smile on your face? Did you fall asleep with the remote control in your hand, or did you kind of sleep thinking about what tomorrow is going to bring, or what you want to go, what goal you want to set out for yourself? And if you did sleep with a smile because you were visualizing it, shade in that first S. And last but not least, your spirit. Did you work your spiritual muscles? And I always say, to neglect your spirit is like skipping a meal. It leaves you empty. And if you did work your spiritual muscles that day, shade in that last S, and real quickly you can see in 2 minutes. I go, wow! I for a week I could see I took 25 steps forward, which gives you this little pat on the back that you did good. And there'd be some weeks you go, ugh, I only did about 10. So it's just kind of it's a way to help track yourself, see what you're doing to try to get to that next level wherever you want to be next.
Next level indeed. And thank you so much again for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world, Dr. Lam. What makes your five-step system different from traditional to-do lists or habit trackers?
Well, I like how you said that because yeah, all it is that I feel like I'm taking to-do list to the next level. What are the things that are the most important for you as you get older, right? As we get past 30, you start thinking about your health. You started thinking, you start looking at calories and fat grams and artificial this and is it natural this that and the other. Your weight, your physical body is concerned, and so all we're doing, I mean, people track their steps all day long, right? They're tracking their 10,000 steps. They're closing their rings on their Apple Watches to be how physically active they are. Great. I love it. I think it's a great idea. But with 5 steps, you can sit there and also just not only track what you did for your physical body, which is what the E and the P is of the word steps, but you can also track what you're doing for your mind. How did you feed your mind? Are you moving that needle as far as we all have a tendency to think on the more negative side. That's just the way it is, but some of us can just move it a little bit more this way, and they're the ones that can maybe they're changing that mindset. They're letting that inner voice, they're controlling that inner voice a little bit to pump them up, cheer them up, encourage them, as opposed to so often it tells you that you can't do this or you're not as good as that, or I don't want to try that. So it's just a simple way of real quickly, and every kind of response coming to some of the other doctors I've talked to that are PhD, they go, this is really cool. And that when they see this and they shade in their footsteps, they're going to get this little endorphin hit. I go, no, I know, I've researched this myself, that there's that sense of accomplishment when you can fill in all 5 steps. And I just always thought that it would be better by doing it with a pencil, right? I'm an older guy, but as we've talked with other people, they're like, no, 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 just even on the app, you just got to click on the foot and it'll automatically shade it for you. And there's, I'm sure Daniel, not everybody learns by just reading, right, or listening.
Yes.
Sometimes people are more kinesthetic, they're more visual, and that's what I think 5 steps does. It really taps into those people that are more visual, because when you can see 25 steps that week, it's kind of a pat on the back that, hey, I'm doing something right. Maybe things are starting to move in the right direction for me. If you see only 7 steps for the whole week, who do you have to blame for that? Maybe maybe you need to make some changes to get to where if you want something to change. If you're waiting for the magic lottery ticket to land on your front door, this 5 steps isn't for you. But if you recognize that you need to start doing something yourself to get to where you want to be, you got to take some kind of action, and that's all 5 steps. It's just a simple tool to help you stay on track and get better at it, to become a better person, better you.
Better person indeed. Why do you choose to focus on both habits and attitude as the keys to transformation?
Well, habits are, there's a great poem, and I think it's on the website also. It just talks, or no, it's on the app, but it's a great poem that just talks to your habits, that your habits and your attitudes are they can be traced back to the root of your successes, of your accomplishments, but they can also be looked at as the reason for many of your difficulties and challenges in life. And so, if you come home and you're in the habit of just getting on your cell phone, playing video games, doing other kind of mindless stuff. 2 hours of watching a ball game, watching video games, watching all the cats on the video and everything, where you could have been using that to do something more, whether it's for your physical body, whether it's for reading a book that's going to help you more in your profession, learning another skill. It's just, the habits you create for yourself. And I always think of it this way because I'm the old guy with younger kids. And when I think of like my kids when they were trying out for various teams and sporting goods and sporting team, they're looking for the better players to be on their team. And when you're 6, they take anybody on the team. But once you get back into the high school level, it becomes much more competitive. And so, hey, did you put in the work? Did you put in the homework to get better? Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, they all sat there and practice to get better, to excel. And we're not all trying to be athletes, but we're trying to be better in the various vocations that we're choosing. And the things that we do. Do we spend too much mindless time on video games and things like that? Because these little guys are great. I mean, we can't live without these guys, but they can also be just a hindrance for a lot of people because it's like it just pulls you in. And once you get one video, another cat video, a third cat video, it's kind of hard to get away from it. Next thing you know, 40 minutes expired, and you're like, oh, I don't have time to work out. I don't have enough time to cook dinner. I don't have enough time to whatever.
Definitely. Practice make you perfect, people. How does your background in health and wellness inform this productivity approach, Dr. Lan?
Well, that's kind of almost really how I got it started with the 5 steps because as a nutritionist, a lot of my patients would be coming in and I would try to get them to imagine that next week, okay, I'm going to see you again in a week. And next week, you're going to take, within that week's time, you're going to take 21 steps towards better health. Or you're going to have 21 meals you're going to eat. 3 meals a day, 7 days a week, 21 steps. I'm not asking you to eat perfect, but I want you to eat, I want you to eat at least 16 to 17 good meals for the week instead of 12 good meals and then 10 bad meals for the week. And it's not going to, you know, 10 steps forward and 9 steps backward doesn't really get you that far. And so when they could just visualize that and say, yeah, if I can just see those footsteps in the sand, there's 15 steps for that week. That's progress. That's going to help improve your overall health, what you're trying to achieve while you're paying me for this. So it was just a little mind game. It's just a simple hack. And that's what kind of 5 steps is. It's kind of a little hack. I hate saying it that way, but it's a way to help you keep track of how are you feeding your body, how are you feeding your mind, how are you feeding your spirit.
Interesting, Dr. Lan. And can you walk us through one of the 5 daily steps and how it creates impact?
Okay. Yeah, I'll just start from the beginning. As I said, it's an acronym for sleep, think, eat, physical, and spirit. When you went to bed last night, we all know that you shouldn't eat junky food before going to bed. But why would you put junky thoughts in your head for the 8 hours you're sleeping? So before you go to bed at night, do you fall asleep with the remote control in your hand or your phone in your hand? Or do you sit and focus on something you're trying to achieve, something you want to see happen? Whether you're trying to graduate, trying to get a new job, trying to find, enough to go on a vacation, whatever goal it is you're trying to shoot for, when you go to sleep at night, if you can just close your eyes for that minute and just visualize, see yourself on that cruise ship, taking that exotic vacation, getting the office keys to that corner office, whatever it is. Do people still go to the office? Whatever it is, whatever you can achieve, and you can dream about something 5 years down the road or just five days from today. You want to do good on this upcoming test. You're going to be doing a presentation in front of hundreds of people. Can you see yourself seeing the applause and everybody just coming and shaking your hand? So the first step is your subconscious. Did you sleep good? If you did, shade that in. Now to continue with the mind, the T, did you think better today? I mean, you don't have to tell yourself a bazillion times that I feel great and I'm better than everybody, but you have to start putting a little more drops of positive thought inside your head. And if you can do that, and what I always tell, of the 50,000 thoughts that we have a day, according to researchers, they say of those 50,000 thoughts, about more than 80% of them are slanted negatively. So we're all just batting about, 20% of our thoughts are going to be on the positive side. So if you can get it up to 21, 22, 23%, that may change your outlook, and just to get that inner voice to work for you. 1 or 2 minutes of, yes, I can do it, I feel great, is 1 or 2 minutes you're not beating yourself up telling you can't do something. So, but if you did think better, shade in the tea, did you eat right? I mean, that's going to be varies for everybody because we're all on different pages. But did you at least eat more good meals than bad? I'm not asking if you ate perfect, but did you eat more good meals? If you had two good meals and you cheated that night because you went out to dinner with your friends and had some drinks and some dessert, okay, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. You're still moving forward. The physical, did you do anything physical today? Did you carve out some time in your day to work your body some way, somehow? Did you make it a habit? Now, I'm not asking if it was a high intensity, low intensity, if it was a full workout, half workout, just were you able to find 5, 10, 20 minutes or more? If you did, when you shade in that P, there's just a sense of gratification for yourself. And then last one, did you work your spiritual muscles? If you did, and I know some people are like, well, what does that mean? Well, to use the analogy I thought of, what kind of helped me along is that being in the fitness world, I thought, okay, I work my physical body 4, 5, 6 times a week sometimes back when I was younger. Am I only working my spiritual muscles once a week, once a month, once twice a year? So yeah, there's different ways you can work your spiritual muscles. Like there's different ways to exercise, and maybe it is attending service, but you can also just fellowship with others. You can read. You can serve. You can back to these guys again. You can listen to podcasts. You can listen to shows out there. You can listen to your show, right?
Yes.
To garner more information. But you don't have to just wait once a day or once a week to open the book and just read for yourself. There's, you know, how. But if you did something good, shade in that last S, and that's what we're trying to do: body, mind, and spirit.
Dr. Len, as a founder of Five Steps a Day, what are your short-term and long-term goals?
Well, my short term goals is to get my kids through college, get them through school. Long term goal is to get them to be able to take care of me in the next 10 years. That's my goal. No, but I guess
Good
honestly,
luck.
as far as professionally, I'd love to be able to just help other people. I've done so much helping people in their physical health, from their health complaints, and I had from every kind of different problem I've seen in the past, right? But I've never really expanded out other than the health and fitness arena, and because well, you're just a doctor. You're not a mental doctor. You're not. You don't know. You're not. Well, I know not, but I just think that, hey, there's a lot of people there's good common horse sense out there on certain things you can do. There's tons of books out there on self improvement and self help, and everything that I discuss in 5 Steps a Day is in all those books as well. I just condensed it down in 2 minutes. You can just kind of track if you did good, if you didn't bad, if you didn't do good. Do better tomorrow. Tomorrow's another day, and I think that's what really helped people, because sometimes for a lot of my patients, when they were dieting, they would start a diet. They'd be good for the first 2, 3, 6 days, 9 days. Then they mess up, and then they just completely fall off the cart. They're just really just fall off the wagon there, and they don't get back on. As I said, if you had more good meals than bad, pat yourself on the back. You did better. Tomorrow's another day. You can have 3 good meals. You can have 2 good meals. Just are you doing more positive stuff than negative stuff? That's just 1 step forward and 1 step back. Doesn't move you down the road very much. And so yeah, but it all starts with that first step. You got to get started.
Good luck to your goals, Dr. Lan, and looking forward for more success. And can you please recommend a book that influenced your journey, or books that influence your journey?
Gosh, I know you sent me a question. That I was talking about with my kids the other day about this. And it was a book that was that might really date me, but there was a book called Dress for Success, and it came out I think in the 80s, and it was just talking about this is when everybody went to the office to work, right? But it was just like when you get out of college, you're going to go to work, you want to present yourself, uh, you want to look halfway decent, right? And so that was a very influential book that I read. There were the power of positive thinking. I loved the book, I hated the book. There was just some things that I didn't like, and so I never finished it until 20 years later. But those were some very impactful books that I read that in this field here. And as far as health books, gosh, Dr. Maffetone, he's what's it called, in fitness and in health. That was a great read for me and everything, as far as just training smart. And that's what my little logo has always been: eat right, train smart. It's not about how hard you work; it's getting the results you want. And so many people are just they let their egos get in the way when they exercise, that they're working out more intensely, harder than their body is conditioned for. Thus, they're putting on more stress for their body, and maybe that's why they're not getting the results that they thought they were hoping to get.
Well, thank you for that recommended books, Mr. or Dr. Lan. And before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people, because my abstract essay is already in fifth season, abstract poetry in second season, and my book 101 review in fifth season too, comedy 101 second season, and my food 101 in fifth season as well. Geography 101 in fourth season, and my baby podcast Law 101 and Mental Health 101. Love Letters in its third season, and Movie 101 review and Music 101 in fourth season, and Science 101 and Sex 101 in fourth season. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. And Dr. Lan, what does a bolder living look like to you, and how do your steps unlock it?
Living bolder is just stepping out of your comfort zone, because sometimes you have to step out of there to get to where you want to go. Because if it's easy, you can already do it. It's kind of like exercise. If you can keep on doing the 10-pound curls, you're not putting any stress on the muscle for them to get bigger. And so to be bolder, you might have to step out of your comfort zone. That's going to make you grow in so many different ways, both professionally, career wise, and just personal confidence and personal satisfaction within yourself. So, yeah, just being able to step out.
Well, Dr. Len, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. So, can you
Hey,
please?
Daniel, thank you so much for inviting me to come on out here and everything. It's really been a pleasure.
Yes, indeed. So, can you please invite our listeners to support your 5 steps a day or any projects that they are doing right now?
Well, guys, if you get a chance, guys, go check out the app. You can download the app. It's free. 5 steps a day. It's on Google. It's on Apple. Download that. You can see it. You can use it and everything. There's some really good, helpful health tips in there as well. We're going to have some other professionals on there to help you, give some more advice in the areas that I'm not trained in. But as far as there's some really good information just to help you kind of track your body. And if you're into fitness, check out some of the information on my blog out there on the my portable pull-up bar. And yeah, just thank you. Oh, there's also calendars. If you don't want, if you're like me, the paper and pencil guy, there's a calendar and a paper calendar and a paperback book you can use as well. But the app, you can get it, you can download it if you got Apple and Google.
Yes, people, let's support Dr. Len Lopez, because if you support him, for sure, more and more empowering advocacy will come. So, Dr. Len, thank you so much for your time.
Hey, Daniel, thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity.
More to come, people. See you soon. And Dr. Len,